changing what you can't change. You find yourself in a situation where you can't immediately change your environment. You can't change your situation. Um, I've been caught in this as well. You're not alone. And that's the whole point of this, is that you aren't alone. You start with the basics. It's basically what I did. Might I suggest, write down, create that different environment. And you're going to hear this in, I don't know, various tutorials, opinions, whatever, editorial column for the local newspaper. When you're caught in a situation that you can't immediately change, not all of us are so gifted that we can just make things manifest from one day to another. So you write your ideal situation. I do want to add, don't trap yourself in expectations, but simply write what you desire, how you desire that situation to be. You write these things down so you can retrain your mind. Because when you wake up every day, you wake up with the scenario of the existence that you're living. However, by writing down the scenario, the environment, the life that you want to live, after a while it sets in and it takes form. I did it a while back, and I had my ideal scenario, realistic scenario. You know, I'm not living in a mansion or anything like that, but a realistic scenario. And within 2 days, I knew the feeling of what I wanted. However, I had kind of forgotten every word that I had written down. So I did go back to it. And this is what you do. You go back to it. And as time goes by, you start forming that life that is molded to you. It may be different 1 month down the line than it was when you started. But each day, you ingrain that within yourself. And this goes back to the concept of creating your new reality. Your new realities are based on your state of mind, what they call your vibration, your frequency. It's based on your state of mind. So when you do walk out that door, you retrain yourself to live within that reality. These things may not manifest in the physical world overnight, but they do manifest. I'm a witness to this. You keep these things in the back of your head and you live by them. They slowly begin to manifest in your life. However, the hitch is returning to that old reality. And it's a feeling. It's actually a feeling that you have within yourself. Write these realities down. If you have to write them more than once, you do that. You go back to them until you actually live within that reality inside of you. And you're going to realize that there's going to come a day where you're going to find yourself living within that reality in the physical world. By that time, not only will you make that realization, but you're already moving on to the next reality. So I want to make that short and sweet. There are people out there who are living a shit show. You know, they're living with anxiety, they're living with depression, they're living with some kind of abuse at home, especially things like depression or drug abuse. These things don't change overnight because of the person's state of mind. It's something that they've been living with for so long. And even the drug addict can pretty easily come up with what they're reality should be like. However, it doesn't take much to bring them back into the reality that they're living in. Or a person with depression. If you're suffering with depression, your mind just doesn't function. It doesn't function like a normal person's mind. You've retrained yourself to think in a certain way, which is a defeatist way, self-deprecating, and you're in a state where you don't even have energy. So what do you do with something like that? Pyramids weren't built in a day. They were built block by block by block by block. And that's where you have to focus. The first few blocks. Not the top of the pyramidon. That's what they call the top of the pyramid. Pyramidon. History lesson. After a while, you'll see that if you continue laying those blocks, regardless of if you're suffering through a depression, you're going to find yourself looking at a vast field with an entire foundation already laid. The foundation of the pyramid has been laid, all while you're suffering through a depression. It's a matter of ducking your head, closing your eyes, and following your path, regardless of what you see at the moment. Another thing, writing things down or getting them out, and I continue to bring this up, and I will continue to bring this up until I feel otherwise. You need to get out, let it out, whatever is in you. And this is from personal experience. I have always been a person who has been reclusive. I keep to myself, and I did not share or even write down how I feel. And many times if I did write it down, it was just incoherent anger. But truly writing down what you're feeling inside. Many times when we're angry and we're writing about things in an angered state, we are reflecting that anger towards the outside, not at ourselves. So writing down what you're feeling in sincerity beyond the point of anger will allow you to look at it from the outside and start getting to the root cause of things. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is your thoughts are going to continue to fester and spin in your head, and that forms a state of anxiety, which is basically a movie playing over and over and over in your head with different scenarios, and they all pretty much either end the same way or they don't end at all. So getting these things out is important, because a lot of times what you think or perceive to be the problem isn't really the problem. It's the manifestation of something that's even deeper, far deeper. Many times what you think is a problem is just a tree. It's not the root. You got to get to the root in order to resolve an issue. Many of us bring issues from childhood, far back, so far back that we don't even remember how they turned up. We don't remember them, period. We're just basically reacting at this point to whatever that was, which is far off in some dark shadow somewhere. So my friends, write these things down. I'm not going to get into a philosophical conversation about frequencies and manifestation of the spirit or the mind, because this is directed to people who are going through depression, through anxiety, through drug addiction, who you really don't have the capacity to see things in that manner. Frequencies, what the fuck is that? No. And I've suffered through a lot of those things myself. Simplicity is the best tactic at that point. Writing things down. Start with writing things down. And we take it from there. This is how you change what can't be changed, what you perceive as something that can't be changed. That's how you change the unchangeable. It's good to see you. Hope to see you again. Take care of yourselves. The light's within you. You're just not seeing it.